Alexander Abkazava will line up next to him in that 15 car, and of course Abkazava for MP Motorsport raced in Euro Cup 3 in 2025 for MP Motorsport. He had a win in Euro Cup 3 as well in Algarve in 2024, raced in F4 Spain and raced right here in the United Arab Emirates in F4 UAE all the way back in 2023 did Abkazava. Keen Nakamura Berta, he was our best placed rookie as well, and he's on the podium in our first race yesterday. Unfortunately, race 2 did not go the way he planned it to be, but this time he's starting from third overall and would like to stay there throughout the race as well. Racing for Mumbai Falcons behind the wheel of the 51 from London and is of Japanese and Slovak parentage. Raced in F4 Italy, a Euro 4 champion, and of course a Williams junior driver as well. He's the Euro 4 champ last season, so plenty of experience under the helmet there of Keen Nakamura Berta. Alongside him, Alex Inovic, who was on the podium for the first time this weekend for Podium Motorsport. He finished second overall with that fantastic move around the outside through turn 1. He's a GB3 champion last season, second in F4 in the British F4 in 2024, and a two-time Australian karting champion as well is the Australian, so he'll be fun to watch there from the second row of the grid. Emanuele Olivieri, another one of our rookies. So again, we've got 3 rookies on that left side behind with Alex Powell, Keen Nakamura Berta, and the Brazilian Olivieri lining up on that third row of the grid here as well. The Brazilian didn't have the race that he would like to have earlier today. Sorry, the Italian, excuse me, did not have the race that he would like to have had earlier. And of course, he raced in F4 Middle East, and he was the champion in 2025 last season, and was promoted up into the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy this season. Raced in F4 Italy in the Euro 4 and FWS in 2025, so a very busy season for the young Italian. Then of course it was Sebastian Weldon who qualified 6th yesterday in our second qualifying session in the 98. Will line up alongside him will the American racing for Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited. He was third in F4 in Italy in 2025, raced in Macau and a few others as well. He was a Formula Trophy winner in 2024 at the Yas Marina circuit as well. It's really hard to say that it was 2 years ago, 2024, but that's when he was racing there in the Formula Trophy. So it looks like our second place car of Alexander Abkazava has made his way to his second position, starting position that is, in that number 15 on the first row of the grid. Still waiting for Alex Powell to slot into position as well, and hopefully the team have rectified any issues that car may have had during the first race of the day here, the second race of the weekend, as the grandstand starts to fill out here for what is an action-packed race weekend here at the Dubai Autodrome, with the likes of the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy as well as the UAE 4 Series as well racing here. Asia Le Mans also in the paddock area for what is a incredibly packed paddock area. How the Dubai Autodrome has managed to squeeze a lot of cars in is absolutely incredible. We've got 31 here for the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy. We had 37 for the UAE 4 Series, and even more for the Asia Le Mans Series. So an incredibly jam-packed paddock area here. As there is the 88 making their way towards their position. Our race 1 winner, Salam Hanna, who will start on the 6th row of the grid. He was our winning, or our top rookie as well. He won the Rookie Cup in race 2 earlier today as well, and we'll be looking to do the exact same thing again here if he can. Now, our pole sitter from race 1 yesterday, Taito Kato, will start 9th in the 89 on the 5th row of the grid alongside local hero Rashid Al-Dhaheri in 10th position. Taito Kato would like to replicate the success that he had yesterday as well, where he took a lights to flag victory, but a bit of work cut out for him as well, because he has to get past 8 other cars that are in front of him here if he wants to be the man who wins this race here. So there is Rashid Al-Dhaheri. He's raced in Macau, he's raced here in the United Arab Emirates. He is from Abu Dhabi itself, which is just an hour and a half down the road. Raced in Formula Regional, the Middle East Championship of 2025, raced in Macau as well. 2 wins in F4 UAE in 2024, and of course he is part of the Mercedes Junior program as well. That was an announcement that was made last year, and it made those who are based here in the United Arab Emirates very, very excited to see that a driver from this part of the world has joined a program such as Mercedes here as well, and of course great things to come from Rashid Al Dhaheri. Now, and the pole sitter still hasn't come to his position here, and by the looks of it, it looks like pit lane may be closed, so Alex Powell may have to start this race from the pit lane if the car is at the end of pit exit there. But now Alexander Abkazava, well, he hasn't got anyone to worry about on the left-hand side of him here, because he has a nice clean run down towards the first corner, but he's got to be careful of the man that starts in fourth position. But Abkazava, of course, a wealth of experience does Abkazava have in Euro Cup 3 for MP Motorsport last year, Euro Cup 3 win at Algarve in Portugal in 2024, as well as runs in F4 Spain, and right here in the F4 Championship, now known as the UA4 Series as well, in 23. Been a very busy man indeed as well, looking for his first race victory here this weekend. Now the 51 of Kian Nakamura-Berta, the top rookie in our first race yesterday, would like to be the winner of this race here as well. Now with no car in front of him of Alex Powell, that means he has a great opportunity to go all the way around the outside, much like this man did in our first race earlier today for Rodin Motorsport. The young Australian here in the number 2, Alex Ninovic, who's the GB3 champion in 25, excuse me, the GB3 champion that is. He was, of course, second in British F4 in 2024 and a 2-time champion back home in the Australian karting series. He's certainly one to watch out for as well. And will he replicate that move that he did all the way around the outside? Well, he's got to dive across to the left-hand side if he wants to do so, and he's got to keep a very close eye on those that are around him. We'll move on over now to the 73 of Emanuele Olivieri, the young Italian. Now, he would actually be the second best placed rookie now, not the third anymore, because Alex Powell has not taken up his position out in front. And of course, Emanuele, F4 Middle East champion last season, now is moving up into Formula Regional Middle East Trophy here, and would like to walk away with a victory. He's not been on the podium so far this weekend, but he'd like to change that here in our third and final race here for RACE GP, who had quite a fair bit of success here this weekend. Then we move over to Sebastian Weldon, the man who's racing for Mumbai Falcons, and calls St. Petersburg, Florida home. He was third in F4 Italy in 2025, third in the USF Juniors in 24, and of course was a race winner here in Formula Trophy in Abu Dhabi back in 2024 as well. A strong starting position for him here in the 6th position. Can he convert this now into a race victory? We'll have to wait and see and find out if he can do so here, because that second line where the right-hand side going down towards turn 1 has been the road to start from. So far today, all 3 of our winners from Formula Regional Middle East and the UAE4 Series have come from second place here. 55 of Dion Gowda, the Indian-based driver from who calls Bangalore home. Van Amersfoort Racing is who he's racing for in the 55, and he, of course, raced in GB3 in 25, Formula 4 Italy and Euro 4 in 24, also raced in the F4 Middle East Championship in 23 and 24, and also had stints in F4 GB and in India in 2023. Now then, we move over to the man who finished third overall in our first race of the day here in our second of the weekend. Jan Szorowski, the Polish driver in the number 8 for RPM, was third in F4 Spain in 2025, second EWC 25, and of course raced for Tony Card through 21 through 23 in the CIK FIA Championship. And of course he's looking for 1 step or 2 steps higher when it comes to the end of the podium. Then it comes to Taito Kato, the Japanese driver, our race 1 winner and our pole sitter as well from our first race this weekend for ART Grand Prix. He's raced for quite a few championships, including F4 France. He was the champion in 24 and all raced in the FIA F3 series in 2026. Then we have Rashid Al Dhaheri alongside for company, the Emirati driver from Abu Dhabi, and his race as well, a long list he has there. 2 wins in F4 UAE in 24, and of course the Mercedes junior driver there. Behind him will be Jules Roussel, the Frenchman, in the number 24 for G4 Racing. And F4, he was actually the F4 Macau Grand Prix winner in 25, and he finished third overall in F4 France in the same year, 10th in the 2024 season. And then he's alongside Salam Hanna, the Colombian there in the 88, our winning rookie from race 2 earlier today, and of course our winner from the first race today as well. He ran the second race. There is Jules Roussel in that number 24. A very fetching livery on that car as well. Very easy to spot around the circuit here, and of course it's adorning the new car for this season as well, which has got a bit of an upgrade. The Tatus T326, the 318 has been retired, and of course from this series it's powered by a 1.6 litre 3-cylinder Toyota engine, and they're all running on Pirelli slick tyres on each of the 4 corners of the car. And that 1.6 3-cylinder engine, by the way, is the same engine that's used in the Toyota GR Yaris, so a very potent engine. The same engine also being used in the Toyota Corolla, the GR Corolla that is as well. There is our race 2 winner and our rookie winner as well, Salam Hanna, looking for repeat success here in the 3rd and final race of the day. Of course, being mentored by Juan Pablo Montoya, who you'll see scattered around the paddock area here. And a very proud he was to see his driver on the top step of the podium. Portugal's very own Francisco Macedo will line up in the number 11. And he will line up, of course, 13th on the 7th row of the grid here. Francisco, now he's been doing quite a lot of racing around the world as the driver of that number 11. Euro Cup 3 2025, was in the motorsport game as well in 24, and raced in F4 Spain, or the Spanish F4 in 2024. And he'll be joined alongside row number 7, Jesse Carrasquedo, the Mexican driver. He had 3 wins in Euro Cup 3, raced in the FIF 3 2025, raced in Formula Regional Europe in 23, and also raced right here in the Middle East as well in Formula Regional in 23 and 24. Now then, the formation lap is about to get underway. We'll go through the grid one final time here of the 31 cars that will take to the start here for the final race of the weekend for the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy. It's been 3 very busy race weekends here, and it seemed to see at the tail end of the field someone has not got through quite yet. But no doubt they'll be out there. Now I can see on the left-hand side, you can see at pit exit, there is nobody waiting there. We would have hoped to have seen the number 41 of Alex Powell, because that was the car that was supposed to start in pole position. But unfortunately, Alex Powell is not there. So you cannot convert this pole position into a race victory, which gives Kian Nakamura Berta, well, there's no one in front of him, but he can't move forward, and Alexander Abkazava cannot move over to the left until the green flag waves when the 5 lights have been extinguished at the when we have formed up and the grid is all in position here. So let's have a look now at the running order here and who will be where in terms of the grid. Alex Powell, as you said, not there in pole position. Alexander Abkazava in second. Then we have Kian Nakamura Berta with Alex Ninovic alongside for company. Emanuele Olivieri with Sebastian Weldon, Dion Gauda and Jan Shiroski will share row number 4. Taido Kato and Rachel Alheri row 5. Jules Roussel row 6 to Salam Hanna. Row 7 Francesco Macedo with Jesse Carrasquedo. And then we have André Dupe on row 8 with Miguel Ethel Costa. Then Andrea Kostic with Rina Frankon alongside for company. Giovanni Mascio with Artem Sevonikin. And then Reza Sirothan from row 11 with Kabir Anurag alongside for company. Kai Dariani and then Fu Yu Hao on row 12. August Robert and Shi Jianru on row 13. Matteo Gicardi will line up on row 14 with Max Durem for company, and then Alicio Feldman Neto will line up on the 15th row of the grid with Maximilian Popov alongside for company, and Inette Dion Frey will be at the tail end of the field in 31st position. Those are your 31 starters here for our 3rd and final race here of the weekend. As you said, unfortunately, Alex Powell not at the end of pit lane either, so unfortunately, even if he were to get going, he'd have to start from the tail end of the field, but he will not be taking up his pole position here in the 3rd and final race. So that means Alexander Abkazava doesn't have to worry about anyone cutting off the nose of his vehicle down towards turn 1. But for Kian Nakamura Berta, he has a space in front of him, so he can really capitalise here down towards the first corner and try and do what Alex Ninovic did in the first race earlier today in race 2, where he scored himself his first podium finish here this weekend. So the cars will line up once again in their grid formations. Alexander Abkizava will be by his lonesome on the first row of the grid in that number 15. There will be no 41 alongside for company, and then Kier Nakamura Berta will slot into position, and he'll be the highest placed rookie as well. Will Kier Nakamura Berta, there you see him on the left hand side of your picture. The very vibrant orange Alexander Abkizava is the man who will have the inside line down towards the first corner. So now that we're forming up into position, once everyone has done so, the green flag will be waved by the marshal at the tail end of the field once he's happy that everyone is in position. Once that happens, the 5 lights will come on. Once all 5 red lights have turned on, they will be extinguished, and we'll be racing for the final time here in the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy for 2026 at the Podium. We will take a break next week, and we'll move over to Qatar at the Lusail International Circuit. But now, 28 minutes plus 1 additional lap around the 5.39 kilometre configuration, the Grand Prix circuit at the Podium. 16 corners in total to navigate. Who will it be down towards the first corner? Who will have the lead of this race come Sector 1 completion? We'll wait and find out. The red lights are turning on. The engine notes start to rise outside, and we are racing after a very brief hold there. A lot of drivers avoiding action there, as one of the drivers unfortunately stalling there on the grid. But it's a great start there from Kier Nakamura Berta. He knew exactly that Alex Powell was not there, but it looks like Abkizava has the inside line. He tried to take that position away, but just not close enough to make a move. He's got to be careful because the Rodin Motorsport number 2 is chasing him down as well. Did not do what he did in the first race, but is settled now in, and it looks like Alex Ninovic has gone into second position, but Kier Nakamura Berta back down to third. Alexander Abkizava has taken the lead of this race, but almost lost it there to Nakamura Berta with that fantastic start from the left-hand side of the track. And it seems to be the same thing that happened in our races earlier today, where the second line is the preferred line to start, as that's where the race leader has always been when it comes to the first sector. Abkizava now building a nice gap between himself and those that are behind him at the moment. It looks like the toe is trying to be broken here for Kier Nakamura Berta by the Alex Ninovic car of the number 2, the Rodin Motorsport man. But it looks like, has he got through? Has Kier Nakamura Berta gone through in that Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited car? Let's have a look when they come through the next sequence corners. Yes, they have. So they've rechanged positions here. The 51 now moves into second place overall. And now Kier Nakamura Berta has his eyes firmly set on the Alexander Abkizava car. Now, Emanuele Olivieri has a great start as well, because he's all the way up now into 4th position as they run at the moment, and is all over the back bumper of the Alex Ninovic car through turn 14. And this is allowing Abkizava now to escape up the road and build a sizable gap between himself and those who are behind him. So let's have a look at what that gap is between the 15 and 51 when they come through and across the line here for the first time. This 28-minute plus 1 additional lap. So it's 1.2 seconds between our race leaders. Kier Nakamura Berta is second. Alex Ninovic is third, with Emanuele Olivieri in 4th position. Dion Gara is 5th, and with Jan sitting in 6th position here. That is Jan Shirosky, who is in 6th overall. Sebastian Weldon dropped down to 7th position. Taido Kanto, our race 1 winner from yesterday, is 8th. Jules Roussel, 9th. And Salim Hanna already up into 10th position on the opening lap, into a final point scoring position. But he doesn't just want 1 point, he wants 25 points come the end of this race here. A side-by-side action further through the field, through turn 6 that was. So the exit of turn 7 actually was the side-by-side action, as everyone's trying to figure out where they would like to be in the opening stages of this race here. But for the race leader, Alexander Abkizava, he's already making his way down the front straight here and is putting a nice sizable gap between himself and Kier Nakamura Berta. Now, looking on the inside for ISGP, Emanuele Olivieri is looking to take third away from Alex Ninovic, but he's going to make him work as hard as possible through turn 11. He's not going to let the Italian through that easily, but he's got the position now as they work their way towards turn 12. Has the Italian made it through? There is now a Rodin Motorsport car behind him as well, so the Italian is up through, now into 3rd place already. Can he catch onto the back bumper of Kian Nakamura-Berta? Well, there's a bit of a gap between these two, but the battle is not over. It's far from over yet, because the Australian wants to retake this position back. He wants to visit the podium at least one more time here this weekend. Well, he's only got one more time to do so anyway, but he would like to be on the podium, and this is bringing in Dion Gowda as well. Dion would also like to be on the podium here this weekend, as Abkazava now will make his way across the line. A 1:56.344 across the line, a 1.2 second gap it is between our top two. Olivieri now sits in third position, 1.6 seconds back from Kian Nakamura-Berta, but now more importantly ahead of Alex Ninovic. And then Dion Gowda in close proximity as well. He's only 0.4 of a second, so those three separated by 0.8 of a second at the moment. Sebastian Weldon's moved up the order, moving past Jan Sorowski, who now is bumped down to 7th position. Tadej Kato is in 8th, Jules Roussel still 9th, and Salem Hanna has not been able to move further up the order through the top 10 as we run now. At 1.2 seconds at the line, quickest through that first sector on the previous lap was Alexander Abkazava, but this time round it's Kian Nakamura-Berta, the man who sits in 2nd position for Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited, trying to climb his way up the order. He's not walked away with a race victory so far this weekend, but he's already had a race victory this season in the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy, but would like to add another trophy to his cabinet that says 1 on it, and he's certainly rapid through that first corner. Looks like he is closing the gap up on Alexander Abkazava, who controls this field for the time being. Now Olivieri is 1.6 seconds adrift. He'd like to close that gap up as well, because he wants to challenge for the top step of the podium. Now, of the top 3, 2 of them have already been on the podium this weekend. It is only Emanuele Olivieri who has not been on the podium at all here this weekend, and he would like to change that, and he would also like to change the fact that he is the 2nd place rookie. He'd like to change that fact to being the top placed rookie, well, the man that of course is the Formula 4 Middle East reigning champion here. Of course he was a champion in 25 and raced in Italy, in Europe, and of course elsewhere. A very busy season for the young rookie, and also a busy season lies ahead of him here as well. Now, he is currently 1.6 seconds back, but that gap looks a lot closer this time round between not just the 2 race leaders, but also to Olivieri as well. It's actually gone up to 1.9 seconds, a 0.2 of a second loss for the Italian, who is under pressure still from Ninovic here. And Dion Gowda is in still close proximity, but Dion Gowda is currently being hounded by Sebastian Weldon, because that gap is less than 0.3 of a second between those two, the 55 and the 98 there, with Dion Gowda circulating in 5th position. He raced in, of course, GB3 last season, F4 and Euro 4 in 24, raced in Formula 4 GB and in India in 2023 as well. So very busy over the past couple of years has Dion Gowda, as changes for position further through the field. Those are the 2 CL Motorsport cars of Chichen Roux and Ine Dion Frey, with Achi Frey, the Swiss driver, moving through the order, but now coming under pressure again here. Maximilian Popov has made his way out of the pit lane for Trident Motorsport. Has the number number 3, now placed 30th overall. Great qualifying efforts yesterday from Maximilian Popov, but would like to be a little bit further up the field compared to 30th overall. Now that we have position changes as well throughout the field here, and that would be the RPM of Miguel Ethel Costa coming under pressure from Reno Francot in that CL Motorsport number 69 car. And that was indeed a change of position. That would be for 15th overall, but no points scored for 15th. It's points all the way down to 10th place. 25 points for a race victory, 1 point for 10th position, as the gap up front still stays at 1.1 seconds, but it's to 1:55.942 for Kian Nakamura-Berta. He was the quickest man out there, but this time round, through Sector 1 and Sector 2, Emanuele Olivieri for RHGP has gone quickest with a 38.297 and a 45.751 through the first and second sector. What about through Sector 3? Does he go quickest again? Yes, he does. A 31.686, but 1.6 seconds is the gap. And it looks like Alex Ninovic is slowing down here. He's 2 seconds adrift. Not as quick as he was through the first race earlier today, and losing time here. But of course, he's being pressured by Dion Gowda, Sebastian Weldon, and of course, the number 8 of Jan Sorowski, who was also featured on the podium for RPM, would like to be back up on the podium as well, but there's a lot of cars in between him and a podium finishing position. But quickest man out there with a 1:55.734 was Emanuele Olivieri in third position overall, and that's not something we want to see there at all. There is now a car in the wall, unfortunately, and that means a safety car will be called out. And remember, during the safety car period, the time will continue to tick down, and that means over the 28 minutes, we'll be slowing down the entire field here. We still have that +1 lap as well at the end of this of the 28 minutes. So once the clock strikes 0, we'll have 1 lap to go next time round. So if they're halfway through a lap, it will still be 1 lap after that we have here. Now, this will bunch up the field here. This is good news here for Ninovic, the GB3 champion in 2025, because it allows him now to close up on all that time that he lost on Emanuele Olivieri for RSGP. It also closes that gap up between Kia Nakamura-Berta and the 73, plus the race leader as well. Now, all cars will be directed through the pit lane because, of course, the recovery effort underway for that car that is currently stranded on the front straightaway here. I have a feeling it is Alessio Feldman Neto there who has come to a stop on the front straightaway. That will be the number 17, as that's the only car that's not come through the Sector 1 timing beacon this time round. It had a very quick sector, though, through that third sector as well. Also, before the yellow flag came out, Emanuele Olivieri had a very, very quick sector time of 38.290. So this is how it all unfolded for the Brazilian. So he's up on the inside now, attempting to go through turn 16. Now, this is what happened, and a slight tap there to the back bumper, and unfortunately that unsettled both of the cars as they connected together, and unfortunately that is the number 17 into the wall at the moment. So we will refocus our attention now on the front of the field, though. Alexander Abkizava making his way and pulling the field through the pit lane here. The gap was 9/10 of a second out the line. That, of course, will come right down between our top two, and they'll all be bunched together, which will make for a fantastic restart here around the Dubai Autodrome. Our final race of the weekend as well for the 2026 Formula Regional Middle East Trophy, with out in front is the Euro Cup 3 driver who raced it for MP Motorsport in 2025, and of course a winner in the series as well in 2024, Alexander Abkizava, looking for his first race win here this weekend. He's been on the podium once already, but he'd like to be on the top step of the podium here in our final race. It'd be a great way to end the weekend after the short break that we'll have, and then back to racing in Qatar in 2 weeks' time. Kia Nakamura-Berta, though, would like to be the man that's on the top step of the podium, taking the top honours in the Rookie Cup as well. But he's got a rookie breathing down his neck on this restart as well, the likes of the RSGP, Emanuele Olivieri in the 73, who runs in third. Alex Ninovic, who had that daring move around the outside through turn 1 in race 2 earlier today, sits in fourth and would like to recreate the success that he had in the first race of the day here, currently in fourth. So let's see what he can do on the restart here for Rodin Motorsport. But for Van Amersfoort Racing, for Dion Gouda, he currently sits in 5th position behind the wheel of the 55. And as we said, these cars now all bunched together here. That also bring in the top 10 as Sebastian Weldon, Jan Shorowski. We'll also bring in Taito Kato and Jules Roussel. Salim Hana, our race 2 winner as well. So it looks like we're on track here for our third different race winner here this weekend in the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy for 2026. As we said, it is Abkizava who leads this race here, and we'll be wanting this safety car to last as long as possible, because the more time behind the safety car, the less time he has to defend from those who are behind him, including Kia Nakamura-Berta and Emanuele Olivieri. For both of those two, they would like to get this race going again, not just to take top honours in the Rookie Cup, but also the overall race as well, because we've got 2 of the front runners and the rookies running in 2nd and 3rd place at the moment. It is the Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited number 51 that's leading the Rookie Cup at the moment, ahead of Emanuele Olivieri in the 73 for RSGP. And those are your top 3 as they work their way down the back straight. We keep a close eye on if it says that the safety car will come in this lap. I don't think it will, because if it does, then the lights on top of the safety car would be extinguished, and then we will be back to racing next time round here. But it looks like we'll stay at least behind the safety car for 1 more lap here around the Dubai Autodrome. The Grand Prix circuit configuration, 5.39 kilometres in length, just shy of 5.4 kilometres. And of course 16 corners in total, offering plenty of overtaking opportunities, including turn 1, turn 10, 12, 14 and 16. We're actually seeing quite a fair bit of action happening down through turn 12, especially on the inside. A lot of drivers have sensed an opportunity to sneak up through there and take positions away as the safety car continues to bring them around the field. Now we're going to get a replay here of the race start. So it's a great start from Alexander Abkizava on the right-hand side of your pictures there, trying to cut off the nose cone there of Kian Nakamura because you can see he was the quicker of the two there. And there you see just darts straight across to the left-hand side to deny Nakamura the preferred line down towards the first corner. But with that said, Nakamura definitely had the better start because you see how much speed he's carrying through down towards the first corner. But Abkizava had the inside line, and you can see behind them as well Alex Ninovic and of course Emanuele Olivieri battling it out there for third position. So side by side everywhere you look, 2 and 3 wide down through the first corner. They got through nice and cleanly though, no one really running off into the runoff area too much through that first corner, but of course it was a great start from Abkizava there in the 15, and then Nakamura was passed briefly by Alex Ninovic, but then retook that position away from the Rodin Motorsport driver, who are now battling it out with Emanuele Olivieri, who he lost that position to as well. And now the Brazilian sits in third overall here at the Dubai Autodrome with just under 13 minutes remaining on the clock, plus 1 additional lap. The safety car has still been deployed. No message on our screen has popped up if we go back to racing this time around. Remember, it's 28 minutes in total plus 1 additional lap as we've been running throughout the race weekend here. And that was some fantastic action there between Ninovic and Emanuele Olivieri, and that's where we got the change done through turn 12. This is the reason that we're under the safety car conditions here. Just 2 cars getting a little bit too close for comfort, latching onto one another, unsettling both the cars, and unfortunately the car there into the wall. But we will focus our attention once again to the safety car procedure here, and it will be Alexander Abkizava who will be the man who is in control of the field here during the restart here in the 15, with Kian Nakamura in the 51 behind him, and then Emanuele Olivieri, who started 5th in 3rd position, with Alex Ninovic in 4th position. So he stayed where he started essentially, but will no doubt be looking to retake that position once again here. So we're working our way now onto the back straightaway. If we get a shot of the safety car, the lights are still on, so we're waiting for those lights to be extinguished, and that is our cue, and that will tell us that we're about to go racing once again, and that means this will be the final lap behind the safety car. But we wait for that cue before we say that it's coming in. And again, for Abkizava, he'd want this safety car to last as long as possible here. But for Kian Nakamura and for Emanuele Olivieri behind him, they want this safety car to come in ASAP, because they want to fight for the overall top step of the podium and the trophy in the Rookie Cup as well. Because Nakamura has already received that once this weekend. Salam Hana received it earlier this morning, and Olivieri would like to be the 3rd recipient of that trophy. Of course, he is the Middle East F4 champion from 2025, the defending champion, but will not be defending his crown because he's moved up now into the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy. So just over 10 minutes remaining on the clock here, and it looks like the safety car has broken away from the field, which means we are racing next time round. It is up to Alexander Abkizava now to back Kian Nakamura into the clutches of Emanuele Olivieri and the rest of the field to see if he can get the getaway that he needs and build a gap between himself and those who are behind him. But you see Kian Nakamura is going to stay with him, and he's going to stay as close as he can, and that is a fantastic restart there from Kian Nakamura. It's one of the closest that we've seen so far as well. There is less than the car length separating the two of them there. Fantastic there for the British driver as he stays with him, and of course our leader in the Rookie Cup as well. So across the line on the restart, there is a bit of a gap now through the final corner, but what a fantastic job there from the number 51 driver. Down towards the first corner we go on the restart here. Who will be brave enough to go around the outside, or do they brake as late as they can to the inside? Ninovic thinks about it, as does Olivieri. It was actually Olivieri who's currently sat in 3rd position. Thought about it. Kian Nakamura tried to force an issue out as well for the the race leader here as well, to say, look, I'm going this way, I think you should too, but then kind of fake it to the other side of the track as well. But a great restart there from Abkizava, who continues to lead this race. And we'll see by how much that gap is when they come across line. It was 0.4 of a second last time round on the restart, but no doubt that will change. We come closer here as Sebastian Weldon looks on the inside of Dion Gowda for Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited. That is the battle for 5th position between the 55 and the number 98. As they continue on, and look, you can see that Alexander Abkizava knows that Kia Nakamura is closing in, and he's going to close right in through turn 10. And how they did not come together there, I will never know, but you could barely slip a piece of paper in between the two of them there. But a fantastic drive from the both of them there, not to collect to one another and ruin each other's races there, because for Abkizava, he really wants to walk away with the victory. So does Kia Nakamura, but there's still a lot of time left on the clock here for the Williams junior driver there to make an opportunity arise maybe later on in these final 9 minutes, because there is still plenty of time left on the clock. There's a lap after that as well to go, but he's going to try around the outside through turn 14. This is very, very uncommon, and this is going to open the door wide open for Olivieri if Nakamura is not careful at all, but he's managed to shut that door in pretty much immediately. But he's going to try again down towards turn 16. Is he going to dare to brake as late as he can? Yes, he will, but Abkizava closes that door on him and denies entryway through that. Now look, the top three are breaking away here. 0.3 of a second is the gap between Abkizava, Nakamura, then it's 0.2 of a second back to Olivieri, so there's only just 0.5 of a second between these two. Now, has Nakamura also picked up a little bit of damage somewhere? Has he come in contact with someone, because the sticker on the front of the nose cone is appearing to be peeling off? But I don't think that's upsetting any of the aerodynamics on the car as well. But this battle will rage on here between our top two here and make it top three, because Olivieri wants to be a part of this as well for RHGP. He's saw what his teammates have done on the other side of the paddock for the UE4 series, and would like to replicate what those two did as well in our earlier races. Now, Sebastian Weldon got through, not quite yet, but Salim Hanna is certainly on a mission as well, passing Jules Rossell, or at least attempting to get past the G4 Racing number 24, and they will continue on here as Abkizava still in control, but Nakamura looking again on the inside, trying to force an error from the race leader, and it looks like under pressure from Taito Kato is the number 8 car there, Jan Shorowski, who's coming under pressure through turn 10, but manages to keep the door firmly closed. Now then, we're going to have a look at a replay here. And what exciting we're going to see. It's Nakamura looking down towards the final corner of turn 16 on the previous lap to see if there was an opportunity to get through. And now we follow this replay all the way down towards the first corner. No, there was action behind that we didn't quite see before. Now, who is that that's tumbled down the order? That is a Rodin Motorsport car, and unfortunately, that is Alex Ninovic, who got caught up in that as well. So unfortunately, the Australian dropping down the order here at the Dubai Autodrome. So that moves Dion Gowda now into 4th position, 2.1 seconds back to Olivieri, who can breathe now a little bit easier and focus on what's ahead. He can focus now on attacking Kia Nakamura, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to try around the outside in the RACE GP car there. But Nakamura closes the door firmly. Now, these two are losing time here. But more importantly, this is not the battle for the second step of the podium only. This is also the battle for the Rookie Cup winner as well, between Nakamura and between Olivieri. Olivieri has yet to see that trophy this weekend, and he would like to walk away with it here today. Will the Italian, as he looks through the inside of turn 9, but not close enough to make a move. Now he can go deep into the braking zone at turn 10. He can pick up that pace, and of course for Abkizava, he's enjoying every second of what he's seeing behind him, because this is allowing him more breathing room. Now Dion Gowda is all by his lonesome and would like to close that gap up here as well and battle for the second step of the podium. But he might just bide his time, watch what these two are doing in front of him there, as Olivieri trying to go through the inside of Nakamura to try and take that position away. And Dion Gowda, as we said, just biding his time here and allowing the MP Motorsport car of Alexander Abkizava to escape up the road. We can see what the gap is. It was 1.7 seconds across the line last time round. But what would it be this time round here? Dion Gowda picking up the pace through sector 1. Green through there, a 38.375 last time through there, so certainly he is closing that gap up as well, but would like to be a lot closer to these two here. That's Kian Nakamura trying to put a bit of breathing room between himself and Emanuele Olivieri. And the battle, of course, for the Rookie Cup top honours rages on here around the Dubai Autodrome with less than 5 minutes plus one additional lap here around the track here. Not many opportunities left here for these two to scrap it out to the line. And Kian Nakamura will like the fact that the number 73 has dropped back ever so slightly now as well. But Olivieri has to be careful of Dion Gowda as he's closing that gap up. 1:56.497 across the line. That was good enough to be 5/10 of a second faster than that number 73. Salam Hanna across the line there in 8th place. As we're going to go side by side down to and through the first corner. That doesn't tend to work out very well, but the G4 Racing team there around the outside makes it stick there this time round. And very brave to try and go 3 wide through that corner. Now, Rashid Al-Dhaheri moves up into 16th position. Artem Sevrakin moves up as well for G4 Racing in the number 14. Also moving up, Kia Anurag, the Alpine junior driver, as well as Maxime Popper from the back of the grid, is making his way up the order now in 25th position. But up front, the gap is 1.7 seconds, and Nakamura Berta, now that he's been released from the clutches of Olivieri, is starting to pick up the pace as well, because he's just gone purple through the first sector, a 38.288. That's a 10th of a second quicker compared to our race leader. 1.7 seconds is the gap, and just under 3 minutes plus an additional lap left on the clock. That is not a lot of time left to kind of bring that deficit down from 1.7 seconds to basically nothing. And we'll have to see if that works out. There's more action through turn 10 as two drivers lean on one another, but they keep it nice and clean there, not to ruin each other's races. And that's very important here, especially in the closing stages of the race here. You don't want to have to do it right at the tail end of the field. As Kabir Anurag trying to make his way up the order is the Alpine junior driver. As I said, he is locked in a battle here with Giovanni Mathieu and Auguste Robert. Auguste, of course, raced in the Golf 12 Hours late last year, and also raced in British F4, taking 3 wins, and was also a winner in Formula Regional Middle East in 2025, and also Formula 4 GB and Formula Trophy UAE. He raced in 2024, and this battle is still raging as we go across the line as well. Kabir Anurag on the inside, on the left-hand side of your pictures, but it's going to move to the inside line here, and he's going to try and brake as late as possible to try and get the switchback through here. He's got a quicker exit speed, looks for a way through, and an opportunity on the inside. And that is Auguste Robert that's in front of him as well for Pinnacle Motorsport that they're battling of there at the moment. The gap up front, though, 1.6 seconds. It's only come down by a 10th of a second. It doesn't look like there's enough time left on the clock here for Kian Nakamura Berta to find a way through. He's gone quick again through Sector 1 with a 38.236 at the line. And then what about through Sector 2? Now then, Andrea Kostic has not come through the first sector in Trident Motorsports number 47, so that would move Miguel Ethel Costa up a position here in the RPM number 5. Will also move the order up quite a fair bit towards the tail end of the field here. Now 1 minute plus 1 lap left on the clock. Now where are our race leaders? Alexander Abkizava working his way through the the second sector here for the third to last time, because if we look at the time, there's going to be enough time for 1 more lap after this, plus the additional lap as well. But Kian Nakamura Berta has just gone quicker again through Sector 2 with a 45.736. He's gone 0.2 of a second faster through that second sector, and he went 0.2 of a second quicker through the first sector as well. So Alexander Abkizava will now start the penultimate lap because there is more time left on the clock. There are over less than 20 seconds remaining, but this is now the start of the penultimate lap. Next time round will be the last lap of the race here. So 2 more circulations of the Dubai Autodrome GP circuit configuration here, 5.39 kilometers in length. That means 10.6 kilometers to go here. As Alex Ninovic, they're battling it out with Chi Chen-Ru. for position on track, and of course Nunavik much further up the order, but unfortunately coming through turn 16, forced out wide and had a quick spin, and that forced him down the order. Now the clock has officially struck 0, so that means we've completed 28 minutes of racing. This is the penultimate lap. Next time round will be 1 lap to go. The gap in front, 1.2 seconds. Kia Nakamura using up all of his car that he can and goes 0.4 of a second faster last time round for a 1:55.7. But now through sector 1, he's a 1/10 of a second quicker with a 38.2 compared to a 38.3 of the race leader. That gap is coming down, but there's not enough time left on the clock. He's going to have to be very, very brave on the final lap of this race if he wants to make a move. Where he chooses to do so is another question, because it's only really turn 1 he could be very brave like that, and turn 10 he's going to have to pick up the toe as soon as he can to fall in line and pick up the slipstream from our race leader. Alexander Abkizava, who started on the front row of the grid, started in 2nd position. Did the man who won a race in Algarve in 2024 in Euro Cup 3. And looking for another race victory here in the 2026 Formula Regional Trophy. He was a winner earlier on in the season as well, won the first race and was our first pole sitter as well with 2026, but has not visited the top step of the podium since, but is looking for his 2nd trip to the top step here in this weekend in the series. So 1 lap to go for our top 3. Alexander Abkizava, Kian Nakamura and Emanuele Olivieri are your top 3, separated by 1.3 seconds. The gap has now come down to less than a second between our top 2. Abkizava just 9/10 of a second up the road from the Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited number 51. Now what can Kian Nakamura do? Can he close this gap up when it comes to the back straightaway here? Of course, Nakamura will also be the winner in the Rookie Cup if it stays this way right now. Now back onto the back straightaway for the final time. Through turn 9 we go for the final time. Now it is going to be how fast can he pick up the slipstream and make a run down towards turn 10. He's going to be very late on the brakes, but he's got to be very, very careful as well, because any mistake and the top honours in the Rookie Cup will go the way of Olivieri. And he's closed that gap right up again through turn 10. There is about 2 car lengths separating these two. Abkizava continues to lead as there is a Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited car now. He starts to fill up the rearview mirrors of our race leader. Now through turn 12 for the final time. It's turn 14 and turn 16 where you can make a move, but again has to pick up that slipstream through 13 and then through 14. Can he dive to the inside, brake as late as he dares? He's done this a few times throughout the course of this weekend as Kian Nakamura, but not close enough to make a move. One more opportunity lies ahead of Nakamura, and that'll be through turn 16, but unfortunately not close enough to make a move, but we cannot fault him for not trying. He tried wherever he could, but for Alexander Abkizava, it is a race victory in a great way to end the weekend here in race 3 of round 3 of the 2026 Formula Regional Middle East Trophy. That is another race victory and another trophy to add to his collection. Nakamura across the line in 2nd with Emanuele Olivieri rounding out our top 3 there. Nakamura also takes top honours in the rookies as well. And he'll be absolutely delighted though out with 2 trophies to walk away with come the end of the race. He would like to have been on the top step of the podium, but what a race it has been once again here in Formula Regional Middle East Trophy. They put on an absolute display here all weekend just to show how good these young and upcoming drivers are. Many of them already enrolled into various driver programs around in the likes of Formula 1, with Kian Nakamura being one of them. He is in the Williams Junior Academy, and you can just see why they decided to pick him up as well from that raw race pace that he's had here all weekend, and a fabulous drive once again from Kian Nakamura. A job well done as well for the Italian Ferraris GP, Emanuele Olivieri. finishes third, and he will be the second highest rookie. But there you go. Alexander Abkazava takes the victory from Kian Nakamura-Berta, from Emanuele Olivieri in third. Kian Nakamura-Berta takes top honours in the rookie category, with Dion Gauda in fourth position. And then it is the number 8 in fifth position overall. Number 8 in fifth position overall, Jan Sorowski. Finishes there, and he was on the podium in the previous race, but he'll be happy with a fifth placed finish. Then it is Sebastian Weldon from Taito Kato, Salam Hana, our race 2 winner, with Jules Rochelle and Francisco Marciano rounding out the top 10, and Francisco there taking away that final point scoring for position there for Van Amersfoort Racing. So that is the final race of the day and the final race of the weekend for round 3 of the Formula Regional Middle East Trophy. We will leave you now with some highlights as we head on over to the podium presentation area for the final podium presentation of the weekend.
In second position, the number 51 for Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited, Keen Nakamura Berta. And our winner, driving the number 15 for MP Motorsport, Alexander Abkizava. And I've also got to call out the Rookie Cup winner, the number 51 from Mumbai Falcons Racing Limited, Keen Nakamura Berta. Now it is my honour to invite Tariq Al-Gamal, the head of commercial at Dubai Autodrome, to present the trophies to our winners. First of all, the third place trophy to the number 73 of Emanuele Olivieri. He will present the second place trophy now to Keen Nakamura Berta. And last but not least, our winner in race 3, Alexander Abkizava. And of course, one final trophy for our Rookie Cup winner, Keen Nakamura Berta. Now, gentlemen, if you could pose for the group photo, remember to look down at the cameras as well. And that wraps up our final podium presentation. And let the celebrations begin.